Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the dungeons, the post-game ones, not the ones during the actual main quest. I'm talking about the ones that you need the key from the woman by the Hunter's HQ, and believe it or not, it's actually pretty easy to get through the dungeons quickly. The thing about the dungeons is they all have different types of segments, and they all have like splitting paths. Now, the real main concern about every dungeon is pretty much the splitting path, and the segments you don't really have to worry about, but I'm just going to explain them anyway, just because it is pretty important to know. And when you know your segments, you can tell if you're going to get to the end or not, like quickly, depending on the type of segment you're in and how large or not large the segment actually is. Now, there's four types of segments. Call them A, B, C, and D. And I'll just explain them all really quickly to you guys. Alright, so segment A is the smallest one. So basically, I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can. If you still don't understand, then in the comments below you can definitely comment and I'll try to explain it even better. But basically segment A is the smallest one, and it's kind of like the smallest little tunnel leading into the next room, and then the room is going to be really small. So it's kind of just like a little small pathway. And I'm talking about like when you're walking to the next room to fight the next enemy. That's exactly what I'm talking about, like the segment. So basically, segment A, like I'll say it again, is the smallest one, and it has a small room too. So segment B is a little bit different. Segment B, it has like a little short slope like segment A, but the room is much wider. And usually the enemies in segment B, they're usually like more than two, just because like it is a bigger room. But yeah, that's segment B. Okay, I'll explain segment A and B again, just again, because I want to keep reiterating it. So segment A is the smallest little pathway, and it has the smallest room. B basically has a small pathway like A, but the room is much bigger. Alright, now for C and D. So for segment C, it kind of just has like a small slope going down into the room, and when you get into the room, it's going to kind of be like the room of B, but the thing is, it's a little bit smaller than the actual room in B, and then when you go down the next slope of C, what happens is you get to a room, and it's kind of like it kind of looks like a big ballish kind of room. That's like the best way to explain it. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's just the best way I can explain it. Like it goes from a regular like flat room, and then it just breaks off into the next little hallway, and then it gets into like kind of like a big ballish room. That's just the best way to explain it. You guys will see what I mean like when you actually get there. It's just like harder to like explain. But okay, I'll explain segment D right now. So in segment D, it's the easiest one to spot out of them all, besides A. But basically, you'll know that you're in D because what happens is when you're going down the slope takes, it's gonna seem like almost forever. It's like the longest one out of all of the segments. And then you'll see that when you get into the room, it's actually really small. Like segment D is where I'm fighting the boss. Like, did you see before in the video where I was actually like running down that huge slope? That's what segment D looks like. It's just the easiest way to explain it. Like, it just has the biggest slope of them all, and then it has like just a really small room. But it's not as small as A. It's a little bit bigger. But it's just that the slope is the longest. That's just the easiest way to recognize it. But besides that, what's really important about the dungeons too is the splitting paths. But the segments are pretty important to understand just because when I explain to you guys like the guides of the dungeon, because I was gonna do like dungeon guides and I was gonna explain to you, okay, you have to get through like segment A, segment B, segment C, and then you get into a splitting path. So I'm gonna probably do like more dungeon guides and stuff. This is the Ballville Mines, by the way, if you guys were wondering. And basically, for this mines, the guide, you don't really have to worry about the segments too much. You just have to worry about the splitting paths because there's only two of them. And basically, just have to get through a couple of segments, and then the first splitting path, you'll see the splitting paths. You're gonna have two of them, and basically, you're gonna have to go left on both of the splitting paths. You'll see in this mines, not like for all of them, but it's only for the specific one. And basically, you'll know that you're at a splitting path because you'll see that there's going to be a room on the left, there'll be one straight, and there'll be one to the right. And basically for this one, you want to go left on both because that is the quickest way to get to the boss, and the other ones will just make you fight a lot more enemies and you'll just end up back in the same place. So that's why I want to, like tell you guys like the right way to do things. I don't want you to waste like items, and I just want you to get to the boss quicker and make it easier for you guys all in all. So for this mines, basically, you get Prompto's Death Penalty and Gladio's Apocalypse. It is the best weapons for the both of them to use. That's why I went in this mines, because I haven't had a chance to go get it, because I wanted to make sure that I understood how to explain like segments for you guys, and wanted to get the splitting paths correct. But yeah, you guys can expect more dungeon guides. If you want a guide like on a specific dungeon, you can comment below if you're having trouble. I will definitely help you guys with that. And that's pretty much all I have for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. It would really help out the channel. And as always, thanks for watching.